What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scotty, what's happening today, buddy?
Oh, well, we talked about Blizzard yesterday, and now it is cold. It feels like a blizzard in my house.
Well, dude, there's also more Blizzard talk on today's show, but before we get there, you can head to InsideTheGame.ca, where there you can watch this show as well as all of our review content and a whole lot more. Then head over to the podcast services around the world and, of course, the OTT streaming TV networks around the globe. That's about where you can find us. A little bit on Facebook, and dude, we tried TikTok, and I don't know if that's going to stick or not. I'm just not really feeling that one, I gotta be honest, but we'll see what happens in the future, because the social media is a jumbled mess. But dude, coming up on today's show, talking about being a mess, doesn't look like we're getting a Titanfall 3 anytime soon.
Man.
I had to bring this up, dude, because we were talking about this the other day, and you're like, oh, we could use another Titanfall 3. Well, I got some bad news for you. And then from there, Epic Games wants to bring Fortnite back onto the Apple Store, and another high-profile member leaves Activision Blizzard, dude. It just keeps rolling.
Seems like a sinking ship now.
Oh, it's a hot mess. There's no doubt about it. But let's get into what the world of Titanfall brings, because it's not bringing a Titanfall 3. Titanfall's community coordinator Jason Garza says Respawn is unlikely to make Titanfall 3 or new content for Titanfall 2, as the studio is working on too many other games at the moment. Dude, that means we're not getting anything anytime soon. As reported by Dextero, Garza revealed in a live stream that there was nothing in the works for the Titanfall series, saying, quote, "There is nothing there. We've got too many other games in the works right now," end quote. Garza did clarify that Respawn is still investigating major hacking vulnerabilities in Titanfall 2, which has plagued by security concerns and a whole other bunch of hackers. That's been a disaster. But then, Scott, I followed this up by, what are they working on? Like, really, we know they're working on Apex Legends, obviously, right? That's their big flagship at the moment. They did produce Jedi Fallen Order, which now tells me they're working on Jedi Fallen Order 2. We know that's coming, right? It was a big seller for EA. EA really liked that game. Respawn did an excellent job. Dude, that game was fantastic. Love that game myself. So a Jedi Fallen Order 2 sequel, absolutely, that is coming. They are definitely working on that. But what else do you think they're working on? Do you think they got another IP in the works?
It's really hard to say, because I didn't think that they were going to branch out into the different IPs and take on Star Wars like they have. So it could really be a number of unknown things. But I am super disappointed that there's no Titanfall 3 in the works at the moment. I'm sure they'll return to it. I'm starting to be able to count dead video game IPs in two hands now. And it just hurts. But new Star Wars, though, that is something to be excited about. I'm sure whatever else Respawn's working on is going to be worth the attention. Apex 2? Or do you think that's just not going to happen?
No, I don't think that's going to happen at all. Honestly, I think they're really kind of focused just on Apex Legends and keep bringing more and more champions over to that series. They want to keep that as their live service game, right? That is their somewhat of an answer to Fortnite over at EA, if that makes any sense, right? It's how they can kind of keep competing in this battle royale space, is Apex.
I've been really hoping that they add more Titanfall characters into the world of Apex. We know that it's in the same universe, but it happens after the war. That the first two games are featuring. So there's a lot of different mercenary groups, generals, stuff like that continue on. And I would love them to get into Apex. Just give me a way to experience the story of Titanfall, if not for Titanfall 3.
Well, I'm surprised. I'm looking it up right now, Scott. I'm looking up, when did Apex Legends launch? Do you remember? February 4th, 2019. 2 years ago, right?
Oh, wait.
Really? It's only been honestly, it feels like the game's been around a lot longer than that, but apparently it's only been 2 years.
I was going to guess 2017.
That's right. It kind of makes you wonder, go, man, that game feels like it's been around forever now at this point, but it really hasn't in the grand scheme of things. 2 years into the life cycle of that game as a battle royale is not very old.
No.
Dude, there's still a long, I think, roadmap they have planned over there at Respawn for what Apex is going to look like. But the big question, like you say, if there's no Titanfall 3 in the works, can we get some Titanfall operators or champions in Apex or like
or
the
a
Titans?
Titan?
Dude,
Just bring a Titan in.
Oh man, that would
Or
have
a PvE world where there's just a bunch of these robots running around like in Titanfall 1 and 2 and different. You could have a war going on the ground. I'm sure they're having all these conversations in the boardroom, but I would love to be in that too.
That's just it. If you have, so let's go back to Titanfall 2 and Titanfall 1 for even that matter. The multiplayer levels are already done. Can they not bring that over and put the Apex flair on them in that sense to bring over another map? Because we only, I think, experiencing, I'm not a big Apex guy, so don't quote me on this, but like 3 maps, maybe 4 maps tops. So isn't it time to bring in another map? And because those maps are meant for Titans, they're already large scaled, right? They already are massive in sense because they had to make room for the Titans. So couldn't they bring that in, give us a Titan? Dude, like that would just, what a big difference. I know obviously there's a lot more people on game screen when it comes to the world of Apex Legends, but not everybody could probably be bouncing around in a Titan, but still to bring over the feel of Titanfall, what all the fans are missing. Do you think that would re-spark a lot of people to go back into Apex Legends at all?
I think it'd be a mixed reaction. There'd be a lot of people like myself that would jump back in.
Yep, me too.
Headlong. But then there'd be some that don't want to rock the boat. They enjoy Apex as it is.
That's
so
fair.
Maybe if they had a legacy mode where it omitted Titans just for that reason, then I think that would be a great hit.
That would be a great hit. Dude, what is not a great hit right now for Apple is Fortnite. Apple effectively bans Fortnite from the App Store for 5 years. So get this, right? Okay, we all know the Apple Epic lawsuit going on. And, well, really, Epic just said that we are so big that we gotta want to do our own thing on the Apple Store, and that's not really how it works. There are guidelines over there. There's a contract they signed, right, and all that kind of stuff. Well, here's what happened since. Now that's kind of somewhat washed under the waters a little bit. Not really. They're still in court for a while, yeah. But either way, I just moved up. Hang on one second. Okay, Epic Games CEO Tim Sweeney revealed that Apple has rejected the company's request to reinstate Epic's developer account, effectively banning Fortnite from returning to the App Store following the legal battle between Epic and Apple. Who is really surprised by this? You took Apple to court, right? And you want to get back on their store? No, that's an easy up yours and ban. No, not happening. Not coming over. You're not going to get that. Like, why would he even... Dude, that takes a lot of balls to even reach out to say, hey, we'd like to come back over and play. Right? Like,
we've changed.
Right? It's one of those, man, did you really honestly think you would get on there? Or, Scott, or is he looking to just kind of put a spark out there and say, hey, look, they're not letting us play over here now?
Yeah, maybe just more of a switching popularity against them in a sense.
Yeah.
5 years of a rejection. Do you think that's long enough for them to finally bring Save the World for free, as it was supposed to be, I believe, a year after launch?
Man, yeah, it's funny. Is that still not free? Like, I have it, so I don't really know, but I don't think it is free now that you mention it, right? Furthermore,
I don't think it is, but I have not looked in years.
No, it's yeah, well, there's a reason, I guess, right, at this point. But Apple says it will not consider requests to reinstate Epic's account until the district court's judgment becomes final and non-appealable, which Sweeney says could be as long as 5 years. So, dude, this is I thought this is one of the funniest things I've seen today, that they thought they could even maybe come back to the Apple Store. That was just absurd. Dude, they burned that bridge. Like, they lit it on fire, dumped gasoline on it, threw a grenade, and then blew it up. Like, there's no way you're getting back on that storefront. Good luck.
No, and Fortnite is big enough that they'll be just fine without it. I'm sure every member of the team has a yacht at this point.
Well, at least the bigs do. But speaking of bigs, Scott, another executive in charge of Overwatch 2 leaves Blizzard. Another high-profile member of Activision Blizzard leaves the company. Overwatch executive producer Chikio Sony, I'm going to go with that, dude, is leaving Blizzard Entertainment on Friday, according to an Activision spokesperson talking to Bloomberg. The Blizzard spokesperson confirmed to Bloomberg that Chikio, who oversees the whole Overwatch franchise and development for the sequel, will leave the company. Blizzard, man, has been an absolute privilege. So this comes from quote, Blizzard has been an absolute privilege and one of the best experiences of my career, that they Sony said in an email to the staff, according to Bloomberg. Blizzard also says that Overwatch 2 is nearing the end of production at the time of Sony's exit. That seems awfully good timing. I would call that then. An update to Overwatch 2 will be provided later this month, and the timeline on it may have shifted considering Overwatch 2 was reportedly still years out from launch.
Oh, I wonder why it would still be years out from launch. I know Overwatch is a very tight machine. There's a lot of esports that are centered around it, but for a couple of years now, oh man, that kind of bothers me. But this guy is leaving, and he oversees the entire production of it, and it's getting closer to completion, at least in the conceptual manner. So like, maybe it does seem kind of curious as to why he's leaving. Do you think it's a sign of he doesn't like where the artistic view is going? I'm a little worried about it.
At this point, I gotta feel that it is a company-wide impression that it's just not a good place to be, and that is now on his resume, right? When you go to apply for another job, if you look down the resume, Activision Blizzard, right? Like, everybody's red flags just will automatically go up, whether he's involved or not involved. We have no idea, but it's still now Activision Blizzard now has a stigma on their name because of the discrimination and the harassment and the sexual allegations. All of these things now go company wide, and you got to question whether or not you hire somebody who's worked over there before, right? So now that he's leaving, where is he going? Is he better off to start his own company? Maybe he's just taking a break. Maybe he's just had enough and says, forget it, I'm done with this industry. But either way, leaving that company now puts that company's name on your resume, and that's not necessarily a good thing right now. But it's coming to a close of the fact that the game is wrapping up in production. Maybe it's not as far out as we all kind of thought it was, but Overwatch 2 is also bringing a single player campaign with it this time. So maybe that's what they've wrapped up, and who knows, maybe everything's about to wrap up.
I'm really excited for that one. But this highlights an issue with this whole, we'll call it an episode with Activision Blizzard. I hope the art doesn't suffer based on what's happening. Hopefully in this case it doesn't, but there's many projects that I don't want to see falter just because of the actions of a few bad apples.
Yes.
You don't want, especially after all of this bad allegations and these frat boy kind of things that are happening there, you want the artistry, that time to be spent well as it could have been.
No, for sure. We talk about, do you support the company or do you support the artist? There's two sides to this too, right? And not everybody, by any stretch in the means, over at Activision is involved in that sexual harassment or are partaked in any of that. Like, you don't know, right? But a lot of the higher ups now are getting in trouble. A lot of higher ups now are just leaving because they don't want anything to do with it. We just saw a lawyer leave yesterday. Like, dude, there's constantly somebody coming in and out of that company because they just, at this point, you're almost better off to wash your hands and walk away.
Yeah, I can definitely understand the urge for that.
Which is unfortunate because they make some of the biggest games in the entire industry. Right? So, like, what do? You want to be attached to Call of Duty or Overwatch in this case, or you want to go somewhere else and hopefully, build off of that name? But dude, there's so many great companies out there. Even whether that's an indie developer or a AAA studio, there are a ton of options if you're in the video game space. But either way, the saga continues, Scott, as we titled it not too long ago. But let's get out of that stuff and unearth ourselves into Steam, as a patent would let users play games as they're downloading. So this, to me, okay, I'm gonna read this first, and then we'll get into it because I can't believe this isn't a thing already. A patent filed in March 2020 by Valve, which was recently uncovered by SteamDB creator Pavel Debunk, we're going to go with that, on Twitter, shows that Valve is looking to implement a system that lets Steam users play a game as it downloads what the company calls instant play. Scott, we already have this feature. Not exactly. The minute you start downloading, you can't automatically play it. But if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, you download the game, it reaches a certain portion of the download, and then you can start playing. Why isn't that a thing on Steam yet? Like,
well,
Steam,
it seems unfortunate, actually. A lot of my experiences with that download and being able to play while it's downloading, really, most of the time, I think it just allows you to see the main menu. And then it puts up a wall because it just doesn't have the full files. And that's unfortunate, but I'm not sure why Steam is so slow to that.
I don't know.
The games could be quite large, but I'm sure that would be exempt from this sort of thing. It's just, and they're creeping into territory, this instant play, especially if that's the terminology they're using. It sounds more like something we get out of Stadia, right?
Well, it seems weird that this isn't happening. I remember years ago, I want to say it was, I can't remember exactly what game it was. It was an Assassin's Creed title I downloaded. I'm trying to remember what it was, if it was Black Flag or what it was at the time. I can't remember, but either way, I was able, I know what it was. It was Unity. That's what it was. So I downloaded Assassin's Creed Unity, right? Started the download. It goes up and it goes, ding, ready to play. I'm like, man, the download's not done yet. And it wasn't. It was still downloading, but I was able to get into the game and play a portion of the starting missions. So I was able, and then I remember I got so far and then I stopped. I was like, I can't get any further until the rest of the game's downloaded, but I was in and I could traverse parts of the area, right? And it was cool to get in. If you just purchased the game, you haven't played the game yet, right? And you're all pumped to get into it. At least this allows you to get in and start exploring and looking at what the world entails, that sort of thing. But yeah, the fact that it's not on Steam, I'm shocked. I'm honestly shocked that it's not there. I never thought of it, dude. I click download on Steam and games just download and then I go, right? But yeah, it seems like they're...
For someone like myself, where it takes 5 days and sometimes longer to download something,
yes,
could be nice and beneficial for myself. But I've been playing a lot of Age of Empires lately, so I can see that working well. In the case of Age 4,
sure.
Maybe I'll be able to get into some skirmishes before the campaign finishes, and that would be great.
Well, now, so what's going on with Steam? Apparently, the way it's going to organize itself is they're going to allow you to pull on files that will allow you to play the game, and it keeps pulling on those files, allowing you to keep going further and further and further as the game finally downloads, in a sense. So it sounds great, but yeah, dude, absolutely shocked it's not already there. Never even thought of it, to be honest. It's just something that slipped my mind when we already have it on consoles. But speaking of consoles, Scott, it looks like the PS4 CMOS battery issue has been fixed with a firmware update. If you don't recall this disaster, basically what happens is that there is a battery that clocks your time with the PS4. Once that battery dies, so does your console. Like, it was bricking consoles. Well, now due with the firmware 9.0.0, which is a good news thing considering it this firmware update bypasses all that and it lets you, so basically, dude, the battery life would die on the clock of the system and it would brick your console, and now this update fixed it so you can still keep all of your library and all of your games and you'll be all set, ready to go. Just make sure you update your PS4.
I'm a little confused though. If it's already gone, if the battery's already dead, how are you supposed to put the update onto it?
Well, so the article says the problem the CMSO issue caused was if the battery died, the system clock would not be able to tell internal time, which rendered games unplayable. But apparently now, if you turn it back on, it's supposed to actually work somehow. Dude, I don't quite get it, but apparently it's supposed to be able to save your PS4. Just saying, if you got time, you should have time. Just go and do the download after our show, though. Don't leave now. What are you doing? Just wait.
Yeah, you don't want us coming in on grainy cell phone grade.
That's right. But Scott, dude, we're almost getting at the end of the show already, but we got a few things still on the works. What game announcements and releases are out for today?
We have some DLC for something I did not quite see coming. This is Streets of Rage 4, and it seems that they are getting some new add-ons. The Mr. X Nightmare add-on content, where you will find 3 new playable characters and a new survival mode, weekly challenges, new weapons, enemies, and the ability to customize your character. Hey, I like that.
That's cool.
And this is and your new unique fighting style. Okay, so this is quite advanced actually. And this is all on Stadia specifically for $7. I'm not certain if that's Canadian.
I don't think so. I'm gonna go with US prices.
Oh no, that's like $100 Canadian. No,
I know
it's not that bad. The Gates of Oblivion year-end stream is happening, and that will show off Elder Scrolls Online's Deadlands DLC. And it will give you a little look at the conclusion to the year-long saga. And there's always so much stuff in Elder Scrolls Online. I'm so far behind.
I was gonna say, have you played this? Behind. Yeah, dude. I didn't even get. I tried it, and it's just not for me. It's not my style. It's not my kind of game. I'm not a Skyrim guy either, so this just doesn't click for me. But dude, it is so big and it looks so cool. I wish it clicked because I really want to play it. I just can't seem to get into it. But what about you, Scott? Have you played it at all?
I have. I played quite a bit of it. This is many years ago though now. It's almost hard to remember. And I remember I was going around just kind of seeing the sites.
Sure.
Different islands, different provinces that don't get featured in Elder Scrolls main series. I thought that was really cool, but it's just such a big MMO to me. And I just haven't been into an MMO since, MapleStory. I'll mention that. If anybody knows MapleStory, I miss it too.
I got nothing. Nate's brother Joel, dude, has been playing Skyrim again. And he says it looks incredible on the Series X. I'm like, I'm this close to downloading it, but I just, that's what I said. It doesn't really click. So if
it's in a bundle package with Grand Theft Auto 5, then I'll grab that.
Dude, it's on Game Pass.
Okay, well that's pretty reasonable then.
What else do we have?
We have a new episode of The Long Dark. It's story mode. This one's titled Fury Then Silence, and it'll be on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch on October the 6th. It is also free for anybody who already owns the game. I like that. That sounds cool.
That's been a long episodic journey for The Long Dark, dude. Like I played episode 1 like last year, if not the year before.
No, okay. Yeah, no, that's well supported, but that's good news for everybody who has it. It's free content coming down the line, and I wish a lot of games were supported that way.
No kidding. Dude, have you checked out The Long Dark at all?
I don't believe I have. I think I might have seen a friend play it.
Yeah.
What I think of the game, I think of Firewatch. I think that's actually
not quite. No, it's not quite, but it's in that same genre almost, right? But The Long Dark's got this bigger survival element behind it. And Nate and I reviewed it episode 1 for the show, but then episode 2 took so long that we just ventured off, man. But either way, what games are actually out today?
We have Diablo 2 Resurrected on PC. I know a lot of my friends have been clamoring about that one.
My brother's all over that one.
We also have Ember making its way to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
And you and I actually reviewed that on Stadia when it first released.
Oh yeah, spoilers. I really liked it, but if you're curious at all, I would recommend checking it out.
We actually tried out the multiplayer side of it too. Dude, that was fun, but after a while, it was so quick and fast-paced, I felt a little woozy. And I was just like, come on, man, really?
Well, you're throwing people out of the window onto a trampoline below to save them. It had some wacky moments.
Yeah, it sure did. Scott, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. And of course, this has been ITG Daily. You can catch it over at InsideTheGame.ca. Check out our YouTube channel. Hit up that sub button. Help us out. That'd go a long way, of course. But if you don't catch us there, check out the podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, I'm Drew, and that is Scott Savage. And we'll see everybody else inside the game.